At least over 50 to 60.
Maybe 50 or 60,
Yeah, and that would significantly affect. In fact, I'd be worried about a massive walkout, quite frankly.
The Guam Memorial Hospital is the latest government entity expressing concerns with a provision in Bill 507 that slashed the salaries of unclassified workers making more than $50,000 a year by 10%. Hospital Administrator Joseph Verga says the law impacts all GMH physician employees.
It would not be good. Folks are quite concerned about taking a pay cut. And, I'm concerned about the negative effects it certainly would have on the hospital.
Verga says his office has been inundated with calls from physicians wondering if they will be impacted by the law. Medical Director Dr. Larry Lazama says the amendment introduced by Senator Aline Yamashita negatively impacts ongoing recruitment of unfilled positions.
We want to expand physician services. The 10% pay cut is not going to go well with that recruitment effort. We're already challenged by, compensation formula here in Guam.
When asked if doctors have threatened to quit, Dr. Lozama answered,
"That's going to come up. I'm sure, it's not going to go well with the physicians to just accept a 10% pay cut. Certainly, like I said, they have held back in their demands for fair compensation.
Our salaries are already below the average on the mainland, and this is going to make recruiting other unclassified positions even more difficult. Increasingly, folks don't even want to take those positions at the salaries being offered now.
For example, the hospital recently lost its pathologist, Dr. Philip Dodderman, who accepted a job offer in the States after being denied his request for a pay raise. Verga says the hospital has the lab covered in the interim as they recruit another pathologist, but the 10% cut isn't making the job any more attractive.
Certainly a 10% pay cut would make it very, very challenging and, really seriously compromise or perhaps even cripple the hospital operations.
While legislation has been introduced to repeal the pay cuts for the judiciary, Verga says lawmakers must also address the money that's owed to GMH. Bill 507 de-appropriated the funding from the pay cuts to begin paying down the $21 million debt at the hospital. The law provided for $1.2 million to go to the hospital, but with Bill 543 introduced to repeal those provisions, Verga says elected leaders will have to look elsewhere for the funding. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Mindy Egan.